As we consider this legislation, I cannot help but think of the nearly 50 years it took to expand our Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act to include the LGBTQ community. And just 2 years after its passage, we are considering legislation to roll that back. Madam Speaker, the cause of justice is a relay race. And while I was not here for its passage, it is my duty to carry this baton with my colleagues and protect the progress that was made after nearly 50 years of struggle. Some may suggest that rolling back our civil rights laws here in Michigan is a price to pay when confronting who should play in youth sports. And while I cannot claim to be an expert in youth sports at all, because like most former student athletes, I was no star. In fact, as a rower in high school, the only record I held was the number of times I fell out of the boat. But I do know that less than half a dozen young persons have obtained any waivers from the MHSSA for being trans in Michigan's history. I know thousands of young Michiganders compete in athletics every year, mostly to make friends, challenge themselves, and build resilience. I know trans kids are just like any other kid. I know families with trans kids are just like any other family. These bills do not address pressing issues affecting Michigan families and children every day. They don't deliver more funding to our public schools or help our parents struggling to pay the bills. The only things these bills do is strip kids of their civil rights and protections under Elliott Larson, opening kids of all kinds to bullying and targeting. And trans kids won't be the only ones singled out, as was the case last year in Utah, when a State Board of Education member publicly targeted a 16-year-old girl and accused her of being a trans athlete just because she didn't fit some kind of mold this politician felt girls had to be in. This bill opens up trans kids and kids across this country who do not fit someone's mold for bullying. And while I am not trans or a parent of a trans child, I do know what it's like to be bullied as a kid. I am sure that's something a lot of us in this floor have experienced at some point in our childhood. Growing up, I was often the target of bullying. I know what it's like to be singled out and ostracized. I know what it's like to fake being sick to avoid another day at school because you just need a break from it. I know what it's like to consider the unthinkable when all you want to do is be a kid. But it was because of the community of friends I found through clubs and sports that I found the sense of belonging that I needed. As a father who wants every child protected from targeting and bullying, as a Christian whose Savior tells him to love justice and mercy and not use his words as a weapon, I cannot support these bills. But there is one thing I do know. If there's one thing I've learned about a bully, they're usually trying to distract themselves and others from their own problems. Because these bills are nothing more than a distraction, and trans kids are being used as political pawns. A distraction from the pain of our economic crisis, trickling down from a failing trade war, and looming federal cuts. And so, I urge a no vote on this package, because adults shouldn't be bullying kids to distract us from real issues. Thank you.